We finally got him back. The ghost with the most, Beetlejuice. I just got back from seeing the film, and we're going to cover the good, the bad, and the bubbling controversy over this film. So let's get into it. Michael Keaton has finally returned in one of his more popular roles, along with director Tim Burton, almost 36 years after the original film released in 1988. Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara also returned as Lydia Deetz and Delia Deetz. Lydia is now a middle-aged woman, a widower whose husband has died, and is now the somewhat estranged mother of their daughter, Astrid, played by Jenna Ortega. Monica Bellucci, Willem Dafoe, and Justin Theroux joined the cast as well this time around. Now, I want to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but it's already public knowledge that Bellucci plays Beetlejuice's first wife, Dolores, Theroux plays Lydia's beta male boyfriend, and Dafoe is a cop in the afterlife. So let's just get to the big question. Does this movie live up to the original? No. Of course it doesn't. The original is one of those films that comes along once, hits real big, becomes a part of the zeitgeist, and catching lightning in a bottle twice is just not a feasible goal. That doesn't mean this film is not a great film. It is. It's a great film, but it still has its drawbacks that we have to mention. As always, I like to start with the positives before we get to the criticisms, and then the controversy. First off, this film looks and feels like the original film. Set design, costuming, colorization, overall tone and atmosphere, and this alone perfectly connects it to the original. You do not feel like you are 36 years in the future, far away. Burton is able to maintain the same aesthetics as his 88 offering. And this extends beyond just the sets and environments. The opening credits, the Danny Elfman score, similar familiar camera angles as the first film, especially as you open the film with a flyover of Adam Maitland's Winter River, Connecticut model, which is sometimes morphed into a real-life town. And therefore, from the opening frame, you feel like you are back in Tim Burton's world. The CGI was minimal. There is some. The narrative out there that this film is totally 100% practical effects, no, that's not true. It is about 75% practical effects, but the practical effects are just as we remembered. The sandworms, the shrunken heads, the afterlife waiting room. We appreciated them in 1988 so much, and we appreciate them now. Oh, and this film does not shy away from a little gruesomeness when it comes to these effects, so just be forewarned. Beetlejuice likes to use body horror humor to get his way. They really pushed the envelope for a PG-13 film. If this was 1988, it may have gotten an R rating. Still, even when this stuff happens, I laughed my ass off. And this brings us to our first split topic, the acting. The acting for about 75% of this film is spot on. I cannot think of anyone who did not play their part well or miss their mark during this time frame. Willem Dafoe is a little over the top. He's a little maniacal, but few actors can achieve over-the-top and believability at the same time, and Dafoe just happens to be one of those few actors. If there is ever a third film, to not have him back would be a shame because, like Keaton, he is a master of his craft. And of course, Michael Keaton is a national treasure at this point in his career, and every time he's on screen, you can tell just how much he loves his character, because he is Beetlejuice. His acting is so seamless, you cannot tell if he's just riffing and improving or reciting a script. He is everything you want in this film, even to the point of expanding upon his character's history, adding inappropriate jokes and horrible behaviors to his already hilarious repertoire. And let's face it, we're going to this film for Beetlejuice, and we get exactly that. It's delivered. Burton delivers for us. Now add to this Bob and the rest of the Juice's crew, a bunch of shrunken head guys working in an office. They may be the funniest of the lot, and Bob may be the second best character in the whole damn movie. And you can let me know in the comment section below after you've seen the movie what exactly you think of Bob. I love Bob. And lastly, for fans of the original, it is a lot of fun spotting the Easter eggs and callbacks to the original film. It's not overdone. It's not in your face. There's not member berries being jingled in front of you. Now, some of these Easter eggs are hidden very well. Now, maybe seeing it in IMAX helped me with discovering a lot of them because of the different aspect ratio, but I think it's going to be a fun Easter egg hunt for you either way. Now, bottom line on the positives, this film delivered the world we wanted to revisit with the characters we wanted to revisit it with. It makes you laugh, it keeps you entertained, and Keaton's performance and limited screen time alone is worth the price of a ticket. Now the bad. And it's not a lot, but hear me out. The first 15 minutes of the film, basically up until you get Beetlejuice's first appearance, is just cartoonish, silly, over the top, trying for some sort of comedic output that just is not there. It just does not work. It is confusing. You get the sense that this film is not going in the right direction. You start to think to yourself, what the hell am I watching? The characters are outlandishly silly or nonsensical, even for a Tim Burton film. And that's just too far, I think, for general audiences. There's a lot to take in and set up and just get through in those 15 minutes. Even the explanation of Charles Dietz's death, it was a terrible sequence to sit through because it just dehumanized the characters, made them unrelatable. It takes Beetlejuice to come on screen and right the ship. Now, I also feel bad for Monica Bellucci. She must have endured hours at a makeup chair for this role, only to have it be so small, so insignificant. You could take out her role. You could take out her entire portion of the script, her entire reason for being there, and still the movie is fine. You still get to where you need to get to. She's insignificant. And this brings me to my third major criticism. I think there are two competing movies crammed into one script here. You could have a Beetlejuice movie with Lydia, her daughter, the whole dead father issue, the boyfriend issue, all of that which you have in this film, and flesh it out a lot more and call it good. And that could be Beetlejuice 2024. Then you could have Beetlejuice 2025, which is Monica Bellucci's conflict with Beetlejuice, involving Lydia, involving Astrid, but also making it a cat and mouse type film with Willem Dafoe's character heavily in the mix as well. When Bellucci is on screen, she's incredibly entertaining in her role. And when you do see her and Keaton on screen, you get the sense that there's such a story to be told there, and there's some great comedy being left on the floor. So to have more interaction between her and Keaton, again, I think that would be box office gold. So I'm left wondering if Burton thought he wouldn't get a chance at a third film and wanted to include both ideas here. And if that's the case, both of these narrative threads end up cannibalizing each other just enough that you think there's a better script out there, or at least two better scripts out there. Now again, that's my opinion. Doesn't really ruin the film at all. You walk out thinking, well, I wanted more from this and I wanted more from that, but there's a lot of meat left on the bone. That's for sure. And finally, the music. Yes, the first film had a musical number. I know this, but it was stripped down, basic, essential to the script. This film, look, you must love disco to love everything in this film. If you don't love disco, you're not going to love everything in this film. There are musical choices that, for me, didn't make much sense and took me out of the scene completely. The Bee Gees, Soul Train, yeah, not my cup of tea. And in my opinion, they just did not fit the scene at all. There's a long musical number, about 5 minutes long. After 3 minutes, I think it wore a little thin for me. But again, some may like the extended dance and musical performances, but I will stick by my opinion that there's too much variety of music and it bounces the emotional tone of the film all over the place. And now the ugly. There are YouTubers out there making claims that this movie is toxic masculinity, men chasing after girls and all that. Look, when a guy finds a girl attractive, he usually chases after them. That's how we all ended up here in the first place. Our daddies chased our mommies and professed their love. So people like Grace Randolph, people who are just out there looking for an excuse to be a victim, to express hurt feelings, get over yourselves. Beetlejuice is pursuing Lydia like he always has, but no one mentions that Dolores is pursuing Beetlejuice. Whatever her reasons are, she's still the biggest stalker in the whole film, and no one complains about that. And who would? It's a fucking movie. Anyone out there complaining, you just need to learn to sit back, relax, and learn to enjoy life. So if you're concerned about this film because of toxic masculinity, because waterhead commentators want to promote some sort of controversy so they can get more views, trust a gringo. You are getting a great Beetlejuice film, a great Tim Burton film, a great Michael Keaton film, and one that will make you laugh, and one you certainly won't mind spending your money on. And that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Planning on seeing Beetlejuice this weekend? Let me know. And let me know what your expectations are for this film. And if you want more movie reviews and commentary, check out my playlist for my other retro movie reviews and my general movie reviews by clicking on the links in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and share it out. It really helps out the channel each week. I thank you for listening, and until next time, I'm still your reluctant gringo, and from south of the border, salut, and a huevo.